Rodrigues. With your
Thanks.
Costello, I'm sure.
I have two.
So my husband was like, "What is it with him with the Costello?" I'm like, "It tastes better. I don't know."
I always used to drink a lot of soda, and then I just started kind of replacing it with this so that I would drink water. You know, because this is
It's
like
because
there's nothing added. It's like zero calories, obviously, but there's just like a few minerals because it's mineral water, but that's really it. So it's just
yeah,
like my water intake, I
I know.
guess.
I can like crave a Coke with ice. Like, it
Oh
just
man,
fuels
yeah.
me.
So today's Saturday,
Oh,
which is my cheat day. So tonight I'm having pizza, and I'll
oh
usually have a
yeah.
Coke, and then the next day I'll chug a bottle of Castello like the first thing in the morning because like pizza's just really salty, I guess, to me. So the next day I'll just put one of these down and it feels so good.
So how is your wife doing with her pregnancy? Is everything? Oh, she feeling okay?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. At the beginning it was like rough, and now she's fine. She has a
Is
belly
she in second?
now, and
She's in second trimester already?
I don't know what that means. I know what it means, but I don't. I feel like when you're in the first baby, you
So
like
you're
track
past
everything, you know.
13 weeks?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We're
Yeah,
in like
okay.
week 22, I think.
Oh, halfway there.
Yeah, yeah.
God,
I
that's
think we're
fast.
she's due July 15th, so it's like maybe 3 or 4 months away from now. We're kind of just counting down to that date, I guess.
How fun for Rafa. That's so cool.
Yeah, he's pretty pumped, and I think I don't really know what to expect. Like,
You just go with it.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I remember the last time just being stunned about how much lack of sleep there really is, and then so that now I'm trying to just kind of like think about like at night I'm just like enjoy this, man.
Well, yeah, I think because what are they 2, 3 years apart? They're going to be 3 years apart?
Almost, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
much
kind of
three.
what mine are.
Mm-hmm.
And when we brought the baby home, it was basically the 3-year-old at the time. It was all my husband's responsibility in a sense, because we had to take care of the baby and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So it's really like you just got to take care of Rafa and make sure she has water
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
the things, because it
yeah. I
is
know.
still hard all over again.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, but I feel less scared and more just like antsy about this one. Like I already kind of know what to expect instead of like entering this land of the unknown. So
Every baby's different though. Like,
yeah,
don't even expect anything. Don't anticipate anything. Just like it's gonna be hard. I'm gonna lose sleep. We're gonna get through it, and that's it. Like
yeah,
you just
yeah,
have to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
It's all you can
we already made it through one, so I know that like we could do it. Like, there's light at the other on the other side. It's just
I think you're psyching yourself out. You guys are going to be good. And you're not
oh yeah.
outnumbered yet. So
Yeah,
it's
no, no,
one on
yeah,
one.
yeah, one on one for sure. And I think Rafa will help us a lot too. He's pretty cool, like with that, like being helpful.
Yeah, like, can you go give me a
Yeah,
diaper? That's helpful.
yeah, 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 yeah. So we'll
It'll
see,
be
we'll
fun.
see. But I think it'll be cool. It'll be fun. My wife has more time off from work this time around, so she'll be home a little bit longer than last time. And you
Yeah.
know,
So literally the last time I spoke to you it's not even a year yet.
I don't remember when that was, to be
I
honest.
was going to check. I didn't have time to check, but so much has happened since we
Yeah.
last sat down and had like a podcast episode. And I'm very fortunate and very blessed to have now that I have you as a friend. I feel like we're like real friends. We're not just like,
Yeah,
oh,
we
hey,
are.
I don't know who you are. So it's been fun to be on the side of like cheering you on and just seeing the like escalation of everything, because you were just like at the very beginning of everything, and
I know.
the past few months, specifically like the last 2 months, have been nuts for you.
Yeah, actually,
How do you,
yeah, that kind of that you said it. Like the last few months have been really nuts, and really tiring. But yeah, I don't know. It's just been every time like I think like something crazy happens, I turn around, something crazier happens. Like I don't know. There's just a lot of opportunities coming up or coming my way. Like these appearances have been like really cool to do because it's something I didn't really do last year when the book
yeah.
first came out. I don't know. It's just been really wild. Like the other day, I
You
had
seem like your energy seems like espantado a little bit. Like
yeah,
very
yeah.
like
Well,
you
yeah,
want to be
especially
in the moment, but is this
yeah,
real?
yeah, especially like when I'm at these events or whatever. I'm just like, what is happening? I remember texting my mom and like I remember somebody came to sign get their book signed. I'm like, can you just wait 10 seconds? I'm texting my mom because I want her to see this. Like, it was so wild to see that, and like afterwards, after the book signing, that is, I like sat in the hotel room for like an hour and just kind of processed everything because it's too much energy and too much emotion to even process real time. Like I can't. I feel like I'm there, but I'm kind of not, and then like mentally until afterwards, and I could actually go back and think about everything that just happened, and it took like an hour to process all that. It's
I
weird. It's like
was so like juiced for you because
it was
I knew
crazy.
how happy you were and how
It was a
like
lot of
I
like
can't believe
just
this is happening. I
validation
can't believe
too,
this
you
is
know.
happening. Like you were
I
just
know.
so like, oh my God. Like, and it was just cool to just see you in this moment right now because you're never gonna really have that feeling
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
Like I can't believe this because it's gonna become your normal.
yeah.
And now everything's so new and it's just
It
like,
is.
how is this happening? It was just a be fun video.
I know. I feel like it's like for me internally, it was like a validation that like a lot of, I talked about this with Brian and Derek a lot when I was up there. Like imposter syndrome is a real thing to the max, especially at the beginning. Like a lot of times you don't know what to expect when you walk into these things, but uh, it was definitely validation that like, hey, this thing is like legit. Like people are behind me. Like Fall River is like I don't know, like the mecca of Portuguese communities. Like if were gonna chew me out and or spit me out, like chew me up and spit me out, then everybody else would too. Like that was like gonna be the measuring stick for me, and it blew me away. Like I was expecting maybe like 30, 40 people, and there was like 400. So
That is
I
so
was just
amazing.
kind
I
of like,
saw Derek's
what?
wife posting a video when she was
That's
in the
right, yeah.
parking lot. And she's like,
And it was
I don't
cold out
even
there,
know if
man.
we're gonna get in. Like it was so crazy.
It was cold out there, and people were chilling out there. It was crazy. I don't know, man. I still don't even know how to explain it, but it was wild. So I'm curious to see what happens in like other places. If I
Yeah.
actually spoke to somebody the other day, yesterday maybe, if I look at my like Instagram analytics, my top 5 cities are Toronto, Mississauga, London, Ontario, Lisbon, and Brampton, Canada. Fall River is not even in the top 5. So if that
Oh,
happened in Fall River, what's going to happen in Toronto? You know, like, is it going to
it,
be even bigger than that? Like, I don't know what to expect really, but
yeah. And
it's
have you, well,
wild.
you were from the East Coast, so you had already been to Fall River before. Have you been to
No,
Canada, like
no, I've
Ontario?
never been to Fall River before. That was my first time.
Oh, you
I'm from
hadn't.
New Jersey. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Okay. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
really know how close things are to each
So
other,
that's
but
like 5 hours away, maybe.
okay, that's a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
chunk of time.
yeah, yeah.
Cool. So you had never been to Florida. I've never been to the East Coast out of the airport. So
Hmm.
seeing the Portugalia market, seeing all those things, I'm like, we don't have any of this.
I know.
It's
That place was wild.
amazing.
That place was wild. They literally have everything, like anything you could think of, like they have it. They had like a whole bacalhau room, and they sold like you could buy like the face of the bacalhau, like the fin, the tongue, like every piece of it was for sale. Where
Oh,
like you can't find that anywhere, like except for Portugal. So that was just like it
the
blew me
tongue?
away. Yeah, isn't
What do
that
you do with
crazy?
the tongue? You just make it the same way?
I don't know. I've never made it. I know, like in
So I've never even heard of
when I
bacalhau
was
having a tongue.
when I was in Portugal, they showed me like the guy showed me like you with the face, you like bread it and like fry it, and you make it with rice and stuff. But I never had it. But anyway, they had just like everything and anything you could think of, every canned fish. I still have a bunch here that I need to try. But yeah, the place was impressive, and the people that own it were really nice. It's like a family, really cool
Yeah,
people.
so let's like circle back a little bit. Let me just reintroduce you because I'm sure everybody knows you, but some people might be, hearing this for the first time and meeting you. David Rodrigues, he has a cookbook called How to Cook Stuff, How to Cook Portuguese Stuff, and has had a lot of success within the last year, has sold out so many times of his books and had to order more because you guys are showing up for him. So I think for David, thank you for all of the support that he's been given, not just from, you guys buying his books, but supporting on social media and like all the whole entertainment people in the community have been super behind your back too. That's been a really cool shift to see in our community is
Hmm.
everyone super supporting each other, being very genuine about it. That's been a really like there's just so much love in the air for everybody.
Yeah.
So it's just cool time for like a lot of you guys. We were able to go to the premieres. I was in the one in California. You went to the one in the East Coast. My experience was really fun because I got to host the red carpet and get like in touch with all of, the people and talk to them all a little bit more in depth. And then you got to go and dress up and be all fancy too. How was your experience over there?
That was super fun. It was like So it was really cool because Derek and Brian basically treated me as if I was one of the casts of the show. Like,
Yeah.
and they made sure that everybody else that worked there treated me the same, which was wild because I was just going expecting to just attend as a guest like everybody else, but like basically like you're sitting with us, you do everything with us. And I was like, okay, like sure. So it was a really cool experience because it just like, I don't know. I feel like we're me and them are the same age, but I feel like I'm like their little brother at this point, and they just kind of
Yeah.
bring me along for stuff. And but it was cool because like, you know, me and Mike, Rita had like really good chemistry together. Like we're very, very alike. So like, there was times where like, you know, somebody would come and want to interview him, and he'd be like, "Hey, Dave, come do this with me because I don't want to be awkward or whatever," you know. And we kind of tag team stuff, but it was interesting because I expected to go there as like a guest and not really know anybody. And I said that to somebody before we went, and they're like, Dave, like, I don't think you realize, like, people are going to be wanting to talk to you. Like, they know who
Yeah.
you are, you know? And I never had, like, really thought about that. I thought I was going to kind of be standing in a corner, like, by myself, you know?
I
But when
can't
I
believe
got
you
there, it
thought that.
was, oh man, it's weird because, like, when living in Orlando, like, nobody knows who I am or anything down here. So I'm
Yeah.
so used to just going out and nobody knows who I am. But there, I couldn't go out. Like, the lady at the hotel knew who I was, the gas station,
That's a
every
trip.
single place I went, they were like, "Whoa, like you're that guy," you know. And I'm just like, man, like Orlando is like my bat cave. I can hide away. Nobody knows
Yeah.
who I am. But up there is so different. So when I walked in, it was just kind of madness between like doing the things that they were doing. I did some interviews for RTP, and then like people kind of just pulling me to talk to me. It was just wild, but it was cool.
So
Yeah, I
fun.
got to dress up. It was the first time I got to dress up since I lost weight, so that was cool to kind of, you know, put myself together for
Admire
a
all your
night.
hard work.
Yeah, it was nice. So it was cool. And then after the event, like the Portuguese kids, Mike and Taylor, are very much like me in the sense that like a couple people were throwing around like, "Hey, there's a bar here. There's a lounge here. Why don't we do that?" And what we ended up doing was just going back to like their office, and there was just like this 5 or 6 of us, and we just sat around like eating the leftover food and like listening to Portuguese music and like talking shit like for a couple hours, and like that's so much like my vibe. Like I wouldn't have
Yeah.
gone out to, I don't drink, but I wouldn't have gone out to a bar. I probably would have sat there for a half hour and left, but it was just like this, like, I don't know, just like really cool bonding, weekend for all of us. Like it's hard for us. I mean, almost impossible for us all to be in the same spot at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was just really cool to
Yeah.
kind
It's
of hang
kind of
out
one of
with,
those moments you had to just didn't want the night to end. You know, it's
yeah,
just
yeah, for sure. It was cool. It was a lot of fun. That night was cool. Even during the day, like we just all hung out and got food together and stuff. It
yeah.
was just like a cool couple of days of just like
Yeah. I was having major
Portuguese
FOMO.
bonding. Man, I
I was
ate a
like,
lot of good
oh
food
my
too.
God, they're going to all these restaurants.
Oh man, there were so many good
Oh my
restaurants
gosh. Yeah, so did you do the signing before the premiere or after?
before. So it wasn't
Also,
even
what a
like,
trip because
it,
you had that whole experience of feeling
yeah,
like kind of that taste of fame.
it was, yeah, yeah. So
And then
like,
you were gonna go meet all these more, pretentious people,
that's when I
RTP
I
people stuff.
guess, realized what was going on the day of the book signing. Like, then I knew what to anticipate the next day. But originally, they had just invited me to the premiere, and that's why I was going. And then I asked Eric, like, "Hey, do you mind if I do this?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course. Like, our event is not a paid event; it's just a private thing. You know, you're not going to take
Yeah.
any attention away from that." So, I threw it on like at the at the end there, and I'm glad I did. But yeah, it was like 2 back-to-back days of just like just I don't even know, just wildness.
Just probably barely any sleep. And you had an adrenaline rush for like a week almost.
I know, I know. I remember just,
You
I
couldn't
was
come down
drinking
for a
like
while.
so much water. I felt like I was running like a marathon the whole time. I remember being at the book signing and like, not the book signing, the premiere event. And like this lady, was like, I guess she saw me like struggling to find water because like the line for the drinks was so long. I kept saying like, I need some water. And, she's like, my daughter is at the vending machine. Would you like me to bring her? Would you like her to bring you back a water? And I'm like, yeah, I'll come. I'll stay here and hang out with you guys till it comes back. But it was just like, I felt like I was just like talking so much and like nonstop, and like my voice was like almost gone by the end of the book
Yeah.
signing. So the next day to try to do that again, and it was just like a rush, man. Like you said, it was an adrenaline rush. Like it's weird. It's like a lot of energy, and it's all pointed at you. Well, at least at the night of the book signing, all pointed at you. Like, and that's a lot of energy to like, digest from a lot of people into one being, I guess, you know. So it's just crazy. Like I said, it took like a while to process all this afterwards, but I had a lot of fun. I felt very Portuguese for a few days because in
Yeah,
Orlando I don't
yeah.
get to do any of that. I ate a lot of good food, and yeah, we just kind of
And
bonded
now
and
we're
made some
just
cool
days away
friendships.
from the actual
Yeah,
premiere of the show
I
on
know.
RTP.
I'm
Are
excited.
you
I'm
gonna
very
watch it?
excited.
You have RTP at home, or are you gonna watch it on your
Yeah.
phone?
Yeah, I have it at home, so I'll be watching it. I'm glad they changed the time because I think it was going to be on while I put my baby to bed, or my wife puts the baby to bed. So now we'll both be able to watch it
Yeah,
because it'll be. I think. I mean, it's such like a mixed like bag because like some of the jokes I feel like they won't get because it's like kind of Americanized, but some of the
yeah,
stuff is undeniable Portuguese. Like the
yeah,
funeral scene is like, I mean, that still
yeah,
happens everywhere. So like they'll get it. But I was telling them like people are going to tune in like A because they like you guys, but B also like even if like they want to hate on it, they're gonna tune in just to see what it's about, and like you're gonna convert
Mhm.
a lot of people. So like, I don't think like it's a matter of like if they get a season two. To me, it's like when they get a season two. I think
Yeah,
they'll get it, and I think it's.
yeah,
I mean, I thought it was hilarious. Like I was cackling in the back. Like we were in a theater, and like me and Mike Rita sat all the way in the back, maybe for obvious reasons, and it was just like cackling back there. I was just like dying at certain things, and like I found things funny that other people weren't even laughing at. So like I feel like it's for everybody. Like there's
yeah.
obvious humor and then there's like background detail humor of things that's just like man, like so spot on.
It is. I think from what I'm putting together, did they end up watching every episode through the premieres?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 'cause I noticed it was 2 episodes for each. I'm like, oh, they probably watched all six for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing I didn't know. I didn't know that we were going to be watching it with them for the first time, too.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting right next to Vanessa, and she was cracking up. And I looked at her mom, have you watched it? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, shit. We're literally watching it together for the first time. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think they were very like just kind of watching everybody's reactions, or at least
Yeah.
were for our event, just kind of seeing what people were feeling. But yeah, I think
I'm really proud of them. It's very good production, and Dean did an
it is.
amazing job.
Yeah, and I got to meet him too. He had brunch with us one day. Really cool guy too. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's really well shot, well done, and I think it. I mean, I hope it's a success because I was promised a cameo if there's a season two, so I hope it's a success. But no, for their sake, I mean, like I told Derek, like this is literally historical, man. Like in
Yeah.
30 years, like my kid might show his kid this. I mean, this is the first show that like our kind has gotten of this caliber. Like this is wild. Like
It's so
living
amazing.
legends, you know.
Yeah, that's why I kept saying like you're not I text Derek that day right before and he's was thanking me for the things that I was doing and then I told him, because he said he was a little, I was like, you excited? He's like, I'm nervous and I'm like, you know what? You're really not just doing this for you guys. Like it is for us, like children of immigrants. Like you're
Yeah.
doing it for all of us. He's like, don't make me cry.
Yeah,
But and I think that's why, our generation, first generation is so like touched in a way and feels like we're like seen a little bit. So it is the first thing for us.
yeah. I think
So
a lot of people are gonna be like, not surprised, but introduced to like Taylor in the show is really good. At least in that, like especially in the episodes that we saw, he was really the focal point of the episodes. And like a lot of people know the Portuguese kids, obviously, but not everybody knows Taylor. Like, and he's
hmm
so good in the episode. Like when
hmm
he's being like the news reporter or whatever. Like, I
hmm
think people are gonna like lose their minds. I was like dying. Like he comes out like the segment opens and he's like eating cabrito or something like mid sentence and like there's this like skit about like how like the Portuguese club is like he's reporting on like how the Portuguese club is doing like an auction and then like whoever like wins the auction ends up donating it back to the club. The club keeps the money and they auction it again at the next party. And it's so real because that stuff happens, man. Like and it was just so funny. Like he's really good in those 2 episodes. So I think people are gonna be like I don't know. I think people are expecting to see just the Portuguese kids, maybe, but
Yeah.
there's so much more in there. Like
Well,
Vanessa,
yeah. And
everybody in
I
there.
saw Vanessa was like kind of the first one on the screen for our episodes.
Yeah,
And instantly I was like, she's a very good actress. Like they're
yeah,
all acting very well. It was like beyond my expectations for sure,
yeah,
especially the quality of the style
yeah,
of how Dean filmed it. I
yeah,
really liked that
yeah,
as
yeah,
well. It was very
yeah,
pleasing to watch.
yeah, yeah. I agree. It was cool.
So what's going on with you? What's new with you? What do you got going on?
Oh man. What don't I have going on? So I'm working on a second book. The first one hasn't even been out for a year yet, but I feel like I'm going against the grain and kind of riding this wave and just doing a back to back thing. Nobody really does this. Like usually, like there's like 5, 10 years in between books for people, but I think because I self funded and self published the first one, I'm doing that with the second one. Like there's not even really rules to go by. I can do whatever I
Yeah.
want. I can do it tomorrow or whatever, but. Like we said, my wife's having a baby in July. So my idea here is to write the book and be done by June and then release it like in October. So that gives me kind of like those 3 months of the newborn stage of just not even worrying about it. The book's done and I'll know when, when we're ready to print it, it's ready to be printed. But, so that's taking up a lot of time right now. Obviously filming a lot of content. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've kind of upped it a bit where I'm posting like 4 videos a day where I used to post
Yeah.
maybe one a day.
I'm like, do you have a file of like pre-made content and you're just picking and choosing? Because I don't even know how you keep up.
Oh man, yes and no. Like the food stuff is, obviously ahead of time because I have to edit that. But like a lot of the other stuff is not. Like there's a video I put up of a farm that I went to. That was today. I went to the farm. I edited the video and I came home and I put it up. But I think that I found this like, I don't know. I don't want to call it a secret or a niche, but I came to the realization that people really enjoy my food videos, but they also enjoy seeing like what the life of a quote unquote social media person is behind the scenes. So they like to see me like getting ready for the event the other day or going to the farm to buy eggs for the natas I'm making tomorrow or whatever. Like people like to see at this point, like me just walking around and being a person or whatever. So I just been
Well,
like,
I don't think you're just like someone that has a cookbook. I think you come with a lot of humor. And so not only are people watching you to learn recipes, but they want to laugh. I think
yeah,
that's why people love watching your videos because you're funny.
I hope so. I hope so. So I've been posting a lot more videos every day. My idea is like, I want to be on like these people's screens. Like no matter what, when they scroll, they're going to see my face at least once per day. That's the idea. And it's crazy because I post so much that people don't get to see all my videos. People will constantly ask me for a recipe and I'm like, oh, I did that last week. But it's okay because like if I post it, let's say I post, caldo verde today for the first time, maybe 50% of my followers will see it. So I'll post it again in 2 months and the rest of the
Ah.
people will see it. So, I never just post those food videos just once. I'll at least 2 or 3 times and I'll space it out. The other reason for that too is I get a lot of new followers. So like if I post it today and I get 10,000 followers over the next 6 months, like they're not going to get to see that video. So, some
So
of it like,
now what is like the rapid rate of following? Like how many followers do you get in a day?
I've been really looking at it because I'm about to hit 90K on Instagram right now. So I've been like looking at it every day. It depends. Like there's been crazy times where I've been like legit would be like 300 to 500 a day or more. But lately, like a normal day is probably like 50 a day or something like that. The last couple of days, it's been bumping up because I know yesterday I had uh 89.6 and today I have 89.8. So there's been 200 since yesterday. And I'm like to me, like 100K was going to be like unfathomable at the beginning. And now, like, I feel like when I hit 90K, like that's the road to 100K. And to me, it's like mind boggling. Cause like I used to always tell my wife, like, when I hit under 100K, like, I think I could take this seriously. Like, I think I've been taking it seriously before that, but that was always like the benchmark in my head. It was like this 100K
Yeah.
number. So, I'm going to Portugal in 2 weeks. And I think that when I come back from that trip, I'll be at 100K. Cause like,
Yeah.
the last time I went to Portugal and people got content from me from there, like it just blew up. Like people enjoy watching me like just out there and stuff. So I think
Do you feel
it'll
like
kind of
it's
help me.
almost like an addiction in a way?
Um,
Like
no,
gotta post more content?
I think the book sales is more of an addiction to me than that. Like
Yeah.
my wife's phone, whenever a sale comes through, it goes cha-ching, and my son will be like cha-ching. He'll repeat it. So like to me, it's like I want to hear that a certain amount of times per day, and if I don't, then I'm like, come on, man, like I got to catch up tomorrow. Like I have a number in my mind of how many per day I want to sell, and then sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. But I think that's like the addiction, and that's probably why I'm doing the second book because I want to keep writing that.
Because I really don't cook. I I cook Portuguese influence. Like I got the olive oil, got the garlic, got the
Yeah,
basil. Like
yeah, yeah,
everything has like the base of Portuguese, but I really don't cook Portuguese dishes. So
yeah, yeah.
this is like I told you, for us that would try to get like some random recipe. I think one time me and my sister were trying to find out how to make bolos Portuguese. And it was like Googling what does this
Uh-huh.
measurement mean in English and what does that, and it was like a lost cause. I'm like,
I
forget it, dude.
know.
It's too much work. And you
That's the thing,
literally
yeah.
took
It's
all the work out of it. And I'm like, cool, this is very easy.
I think that's the thing is like it's like sometimes you would look at recipes and by the time you like translate and convert everything, you're just tired already. So yeah, it definitely takes a lot of the work out. I think the second book people will really enjoy because it has a lot more desserts. The first book didn't really,
Yeah.
so I've been dabbling more in the dessert side of things. Today I made
And
late
sopas. I feel like you're
and
doing some,
sopas too. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Today I
which
made
is
late.
so Portuguese.
I know, and I used to not really be into it, but like now that I'm on like kind of a diet, it's kind of nice to have a soup instead of like a full blown meal sometimes. I made late creme de chocolate today, like a chocolate late
Mhm.
creme, and it's in the fridge right now. I haven't tasted it yet, but if it's good, then it's gonna go in the cookbook too. But yeah, I'm almost kind of done with the like. So basically, the way I do it, the way I do the first one, I'm doing this is like I have a list of recipes. I make them first. I photograph them all, and when I'm photographing them, I'm also videoing them for like my page. So I'm like kind of double working.
Yeah.
So I've photographed I think 46 of them already, and I want to do 50. So I'm almost there, and then after that, I write it all down, like and I like digitize it and stuff, and then from there we format it and all that. So I'm like, I feel like I'm like halfway done. I
That's
hope.
probably the hardest work out of everything that you do is actually
Uh, I think
creating
the
the
hardest
cookbook.
is the proofreading part. Like I
Yeah.
remember with the first book, we read over it like so many times, and every time we would find another mistake. Like we got like round 30 and still finding mistakes, and like we did an initial print, still found the mistake, had to go back. I'm like, it's crazy how many times you could read the same sentence and not see something as misspelled or like missing something. My wife really helped me with that stuff. She was easy, like more helpful at finding things. But like when women are pregnant, there's the thing called like pregnancy brain, I guess. Like some things are
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
she's lately been a little scatterbrained,
Little
so
airhead, yeah, yeah. Little
I don't
airhead
know if
with
I
the
could rely on her this time for the proofreading. So like I really need to like step it up or like maybe get outside help.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, like the other day she was looking for something in the freezer and she's like, I can't find it. I've been looking here for like 10 minutes. She was literally staring at the thing she was looking for and saying like, I can't find it. She's just kind of sometimes in a weird, like, I feel like the baby's sucking a lot of brain juice right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But,
It's so hard. No
she's
big
just
deal.
really
She's just
tired too,
creating a life.
I know. And like, she works all day and then like at night she helps me with all like the shipping and stuff on the books or whatever. And like all the, invoicing, like for all these stores, like she does all that. So I think she's just like I'm mentally exhausted. I can only imagine she's mentally exhausted plus also creating a life. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to get some outside help proofreading, but I think that's the hardest part is like, just making sure everything's right. Because if something's wrong, people are gonna find it, especially in our community, and they're gonna make sure
Oh
you know
yeah.
about it. The other day, some lady wrote to me and I told me that like I had a comma in the wrong place, and I'm like, what? Like in my
What?
book. And
Oh my gosh.
first of all, I disagreed with her. Like I still think it was correct, but it was just so like random. I was like I don't know. Like I hate to like say I don't have time for this, but like I really don't have time for somebody to, like correct my grammar in my DMs or like whatever, man. But
That means that they're looking for
looking
like
for it, right?
looking for mess
Uh-huh.
ups.
Yeah,
That's so pathetic. Noticing like everyone's a comedian now.
yeah,
I was like, oh,
yeah.
another comedian. Oh, another comedian. Okay, okay.
I know. There's so much like that. I
Used to
remember
not
like
be one
I know.
Portuguese comedian.
I remember when I started TikTok, there was literally not one like smidget of Portuguese food on TikTok. And now if you look at there, like it's just so much. And it's the same in the comedy. Like everybody's trying to do this comedy or this Portuguese comedy thing. And it's just like, I actually had a conversation with Mike about it. Like you can just see, like a lot of these people that are doing the comedy, I guess don't know that we are as humans this smart or intuitive, but like you can see when someone is just like authentic, genuinely funny when they're trying too hard or when they're just cringe. And like, that's the difference between like a Micah Taylor and Portuguese Kids versus some of these other like, pages is like, they're just genuinely funny. Like when you're having a conversation
Hmm.
with them at lunch, like
Hmm.
when I was with Mike, I was laughing the whole time. Like, and we were not on microphones. We're just laughing. That's the difference between like that and like I
Like
struggled with
there's
that.
forced comedy and there's
Yeah.
natural.
Yeah. I struggle with that. Like you said before at the beginning, like there's a lot of comedy in my videos. I don't really find myself to be like a funny person, but I realize that other people do. So it's like, I think it's just like this, like, you're either, I don't know, you're either just genuinely like being this thing, or you're playing a character that you're good at, or you're just trying and it's just cringy, you know. But there's
Oh
some
yeah.
really good, there's some good ones out there, even, you know, that aren't the Portuguese kids, but there's just a lot of like, uh, stuff out there now that's just like, ugh, you know. But you know,
Yeah. Talk about.
there's like good ones. Like I know you had Volvo Brito on here the other day. I like him. I think his stuff is funny. He's a nice person. Like I feel like
So nice.
whenever like I meet somebody and they're just like nice, and I can see that they're nice to people, like it just makes me like them. Like I do meet a lot of
Yeah.
people, and even people like in this space, and they're just kind of jerks, and it just makes me not want to like them. But like I'm just a fan of people that are nice to people. So like
Yeah.
he's a nice guy for sure, and he you know, his stuff is pretty funny. But yeah, there's a lot of good pages like him, but there's a lot more bad pages that are just like, whoa, you know.
Yeah.
What I try to do is like if I see a trend coming, or like a video trend coming, I make sure I don't do it. So like,
Okay.
no offense to anybody that did it, but like, you know, the whole like, I'm Portuguese, of course I blah 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 blah. That when I saw that coming on TikTok like a week before, I was like, everybody's gonna do this one. I'm not doing it. Like I'm not doing it now, and I'm not gonna do it like when they do it. And like, but like, I try to make sure that I don't do those videos the best I can. Or if it's like, Pastel Nato won this award for whatever, and you know everybody's gonna post that or share that article, I don't. Because what people don't want to do is like click through their stories and see that same picture 5 times. They want, when they see my story and like they don't see that, they're more likely to kind of look through mine, you know? So I always just
Hmm.
try to, I always say like I'm very against the grain. I call myself like a disturbance in the community, but I just always try
Yeah.
to do the opposite of what I see, I guess. And like,
Just shaking things up a little bit.
and like I some of those videos are not appropriate for me to do. Like for instance, like that trend, like I knew the Portuguese kids were going to nail it. There's 2 of them. First of all, it makes sense for 2 people to bounce back and forth, but I'm not going to try to do a video that I think that other people are going to do better anyway. Like I know like my strong suit is cooking. So like I'll do funny videos, but I'm not going to like cringy stretch myself and bend over backwards trying to be funny, you know. Like, yeah, I don't know. I try to do comedy videos, but not too many. I feel like when I go to Portugal, there's going to obviously not be cooking content. There's just going to be a lot of the other stuff. And I have some cool ideas. I think things that people will find kind of funny. Like, I'm going to do a video, and I don't know if you've experienced this or not, but if you're like driving down the highway in Portugal, like you can literally stop at a gas station and get the best risol of your life and the best,
Yeah.
galão. So I'm going to do a video about how like Portuguese food is so good that like we could just eat at gas stations. Whereas like in
Yeah.
America, you just get like hot dogs at gas stations and stuff. So I'm going to really like kind of do a like take this page into like a different avenue on this trip and do a lot more just like, I don't know, travel pagey stuff like Anthony Bourdain stuff where I'm trying new places, eating new food,
I love
showing
that.
different spots, you know.
Yeah. I love that.
So it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. It's going to be hard to like delineate vacation versus like work because I want to film everything, but I want to also enjoy my vacation. But I felt bad for like the Portuguese kids and Mike and Taylor when they were with me in Massachusetts because like every meal we got, I was filming a video at the place. So I'd be like, "Don't eat yet. Let me film this first." You know, they're probably like,
Yeah.
"What the
Yeah. Yeah.
fuck is this guy?" You know, because like it's so annoying. But like I mean, if I'm
You
in a
have to do
restaurant,
it.
I'm
Yeah.
getting content. You know, I'm not gonna let that go and not get content out of that. But the stuff in Portugal is fun to do because people either have been to the places or get to learn about the places. They get a new place to go on when they're on vacation. And
Yeah,
there's
because
this,
a lot of people don't know where to eat, where to go, what to
yeah,
do. They're going to Portugal for the first time. They've never
yeah.
been. They're
The
just
other
gonna
thing too
go
is like I'm
to what is
very
that? What is
doce
the
de
place where everybody
Belém.
gets their natas?
Oh, the pastéis de Belém.
Everyone goes
Yeah,
there, and
yeah, yeah.
that's sorry, but it's not the best place to get them.
So
Like you
I'm
gotta go to the
very,
smaller little.
yeah, I'm very adamantly against waiting in line for things. So like at least what you know out of my videos is that the place I went to, you won't have to wait in line because I didn't wait in line. I will not wait in line. If there's a place that I see a line at the door, I'm just going to go to the place next door because I'm just,
Yeah,
I mean, I have a toddler. Like, who the hell wants to wait for a table with a toddler, you know?
yeah.
So, like, I think I showed, like, you know, if you're here on vacation, these are the spots that are kind of low key that you can hit, you know? And I'm going to show some other things. We're going to a Benfica game. I'm going to show that.
Have you
Uh,
been to the stadium yet?
yeah, yeah. I've been a lot of times,
Okay.
but it'll be Rafa's first time. But there's like an infamous like so you can't drink alcohol once the game starts in the stadium. So generally you chill out outside and there's always like these guys in kind of hot dog carts selling bifanas. So I'm going to do a video on just those guys too. Like, I think that's like such an important part of like soccer culture in
Oh,
Portugal, is
I
that
love that you're doing
pre-game
that.
bifana, you know. So I'm going to do a lot of that, the most I can. My wife's really cool about it. I mean, at this point, I've gotten to the point where I can film these videos very fast. Like, I'll just like
Yeah.
turn it on real quick and I'm just like, and then I'm off, you know. But she's really cool about just like knowing like he's going to go off and film for the next 30
Well,
seconds. Excited to go. We're going in, I think, in 9 days from now. So I'm just kind of gearing up and getting ready. I don't really know what to expect weather-wise. It's kind of cold, kind of warm, you know. I don't know. It's gonna be fun.
yeah, it's always like very similar to California weather, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like Portugal mimics a lot of California weather and the same seasons and everything like that. Like I swear when it was raining here. When it was good days, it was good days here. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
I'm excited.
Uh,
We're doing a little bit more like going venturing more into the north this time, where we usually just go south. So we
yeah,
usually go to Algarve and like chill at the beach and stuff, but it's not summer, so we're kind of going more into the north. So it'll be cool because I mean, even in these videos, it's going to be like the first time that I see a lot of these things. So it's like my first experience, and people get to see that, which I think will be cool. Cause sometimes I'm like the expert in things, but like this time I'm not going to be. It's just going to be like,
yeah.
hey, I'm in Coimbra for the first time and we're here doing
Hmm.
the, you know, I don't know, but it's going to be
The
cool. I'm
fado
excited.
thing.
I'm hoping I can get my
Alfama
grandma.
and Coimbra
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
like fado central.
We usually
You
do
know, the
Alfama.
Pink Street. People don't know about Pink Street.
Pink Street. Yeah. Okay. So like people probably think that like I'm here, like, gathering this itinerary. Like it's not like that at all. Like I just told my wife, like, pick whatever you want to do for those 12 days and I'm just going to film everything. So like everything people are
Yeah,
going to see is things that she picked. Like these are all places pretty much that she picked to go, cities she picked. Everything we're doing is like, is going to be a surprise to me other than the Benfica game. Everything else is like, hey, what are we doing today? And I'm just going to film it, which is kind of cool because I don't really know where we're going or what to expect, but she's pretty good at picking spots.
oh, I love that you're giving her that reins,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah.
whatever, I'm just gonna film whatever you choose.
I did post the other day, like, give me suggestions, and people gave me a lot of restaurant suggestions. So I'm going to write all those down for like those moments where you're kind of like, what do you want to eat today? You know, like we'll have plenty of suggestions from the public. But, as far as like things to do, she has like a whole list ready to go. And there's one tour group that I work with over there. Like they're typically like you hire them to like take you on a tour while you're vacationing. So last time I was there and this time, like they basically take a day off and just spend a day showing me like a private tour of whatever they select. So last time
Yeah.
they took me to like a winery and like we tried like cheese and we went to like a fish market. And this time they're taking me to like another place where apparently we're going to eat some like really crazy cheese and go to a different market, like a fish market. So they take me to like those crazy like spots that like even I would not have found like without them. So it'll be cool. I think people are going to see some really cool stuff while
So
I'm there.
nine more days till you're in Portugal.
I think I leave in 9 days. I get there in 10 days. It's like an overnight flight or whatever. But
Oh my
yeah,
God, I love that
yeah.
feeling.
I'm
Almost
curious to
to
see my grandma. So my grandma last time she saw me like was like 60 pounds ago. So like I want to see what her reaction is to like me skinny because like is she gonna like this or is she gonna tell me I'm too skinny? You know, like
Yeah, either or, it's probably not going to be her forte. You're not.
I know,
She's going to want some little chunk on you, that's for
I know,
sure.
I know. So
Like there's
I hope to get some videos with her, but
how has your health journey been now? Like, do you feel like it's just part of life now? It's not like a forced thing, or is it like an active?
The eating part is a normal part of life. Like I like salads and stuff now, but running still sucks every day. Like this morning, I did not want to like do it at all. I was so tired. There's a lot of pollen out here right now. I just didn't want to be out there, but I still did it. But everything else is pretty normal. I feel a lot better. I feel like I'm in my 20s, like physically. I can run like the wind where like I couldn't even like get off the couch before, like without like
Yeah.
struggling, you know. I used to have sleep apnea. I no longer have sleep apnea. I used to have an inhaler. I don't have an inhaler, unless I'm like really panicking for something and I need it. But like, as far as like just breathing, like I don't need any help anymore. After I had COVID, I had like long COVID for a while and like all those symptoms have now gone away and makes sense because like during the pandemic they said it was worse if you were heavier, so that does make sense, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, physically I feel really good. there was like sometimes like random songs will just come on my playlist while I'm running. And like the other day, the song was a Taylor Swift song. It's called 22. I don't know if you know the song, but
Hmm.
there's like the lyric is like I'm feeling 22, and I was like, yeah, me
Yeah.
too. You know, I feel
I'm
pretty good
feeling
right now.
funny
So
too.
I feel just
Yeah.
like youthful again. You know, like I don't know, like I don't
Yeah.
have gray hairs and stuff, but the weight loss really like rewound time for me as far as like I don't know, like physically, I can jump up off the ground, play with my son, like I couldn't before, you know. So it's
It's
crazy.
so crazy to me, like now in our 30s, that we feel like younger and more youthful than, I don't know, than my 20s. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel so much more
But
clear or
also in my
mature
20s, I
or
drank a
what,
lot of
but I
alcohol.
20s were my alcoholic years.
I was looking at some pictures today, and I was maybe I was like 23 in these pictures, and I just looked I was skinny but so swollen, and I was like definitely like that's the alcohol, man. Like you know, I was like going out all the time with my friends and stuff and drinking, and like I haven't drank alcohol in like the last 9 years, really. So like now I just feel like I don't know. I feel like that really changed.
Again, like I'm excited to be 40, you know, in a few years. Like I'm not, I remember when my mom turned 40, I have a specific memory of this. And we were singing her happy birthday and she's crying, just
Oh.
crying. And I'll never forget that because I was like, why is she crying? And it was because she didn't want to be old.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't feel like I'll be like that because one, like it is a blessing to age, right? Some people don't get to see 20 years old.
True.
So there's
I'm not one of those people that like is like I mean I don't want to age in the sense like I don't want to like become old or whatever, but I'm not like clinging on to like being 30 either. Like I've enjoyed my 30s and I will continue to. I have a few years left in there, but I don't know, like you said, like it just like you're in a different space where you just have some actual wisdom and like I don't not like we know everything or know how to exactly
yeah.
live life, but maybe you have a better idea of how to experience it than when you were 20
I think I
or in your 20s.
experienced enough for the whole Portuguese community in my 20s. So we're good. We're done with that. So you have your book coming out probably in the summer, like end of summer,
I think I'm trying October. I think is what I'm going to try
October.
to do.
That seems realistic
Yeah,
with the baby on the way and everything. And then I
I
don't know if I'm
know.
allowed to say, like, you're going to be making your first appearance in California soon, right? Am I
Yeah,
allowed to say
so
that?
yeah, you know, I think
Okay.
so. So we have a few coming up. I'm doing Newark, New Jersey on April 27th, Mississauga, which is like Toronto, Canada, on May 25th, and then California. I'll be in Santa Clara on June 7th at Portuguese Tasty Desserts, which is a little small place that I hope people either know or if they don't know, they'll come out and try it out. And then I'll be at Dia Portugal the following day as well in San Jose. So busy couple of months. That California trip is going to be like my last travel trip before we have the baby. So like that's
So
the
we got to
cutoff.
make it worth it for you.
Yeah, they invited me to Dia Portugal in Boston, which is the 16th, and I had to tell them no because it's just too close to the due date. So this is like my final trip for until probably the end of the year or whatever, or towards the end of the year. So yeah, it'll be cool. Taylor
I'm
has.
excited. I get to meet you in person for the first
I
time
know,
and
I know,
take
I
a
know.
picture next to your tall ass.
Do you want to know something really funny right now? I'm slouching down right now to fit in the
Shut
thing.
up.
Watch. So I was like this because the thing doesn't go any higher. And since I don't have headphones on, I don't want to come like back here. But yeah, it'll be cool. I get to. It's always fun meeting people that like I form friendships with on here, and then getting to see
Yeah.
them in person. But it'll be cool. Taylor has a bunch of stuff lined up for me. I think there's some like restaurants he wants me to go and meet some people, and I don't know. It's always cool to just meet. I like meeting obviously like my fans. I love meeting people in the community, but it's also really cool to meet like quote unquote successful, influential people like in the space too, like people that own like successful businesses or restaurants that are Portuguese. Like they sometimes pass on really valuable knowledge, even if they don't realize it. Those conversations are just so good to have. So it'll be cool to come out there. Like I've never seen the Portuguese community on the West Coast ever, so it'll be cool.
Well, it
It'll
does
be
not
cool.
compare to the East Coast, that's for sure. They're like
I
little
know, but
Portugal over
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
But, small but mighty. Have you been to California ever?
I don't think I actually have, unless I was just driving through, but not like for a visit or anything. So that'll be
Oh,
cool.
it'll be fun. It'll probably
Yeah.
be hot.
Does that get really hot in June there?
It's gonna probably be really hot. Are you in a
I heard.
booth? Are you gonna have a
Uh,
booth, your own booth?
I think so. Yeah.
I think, yeah, okay. Well, I made sure Taylor knew to put us all next to each other so we could
Yeah,
have
he told
a
me.
really good time.
Yeah, he told me. Is it like breezy there though? Like the Bay Area, isn't it breezy?
Not really
Or
in
not really?
June.
Oh man. So I'm
Some
like,
say because it's not by the water or anything, so it doesn't really catch too much of a breeze.
oh
You can
yeah.
get chilly nights, but not too much wind over there,
Okay.
unless you're at the PayPal Park by the airport.
My wife just bought me like a neck fan thing. It was pretty good, but it's going to be interesting because like when I was heavier, I used to sweat. Oh, I would sweat just breathing. But now
Yeah.
that I'm not, I'm curious to like experience my first summer as like not heavy because I don't know if I'm going to sweat anymore like I used to, you know. So
The booth
I'm
will be
curious to
nice
see.
to be able to sit under if it's super, super
Yeah,
hot.
yeah,
But
for
the
sure.
thing too with the Portugal is it starts so early, so you get that chill morning first,
Oh, cool.
and
Yeah,
then it kind of builds up. So
yeah, yeah.
it'll be fun. I'm
It will be.
excited because we didn't have a booth last year with PAMA. And so this year we're going to do like booth and a lot more interactive things with everybody. So I'm just picturing our corner like just hyped up. Or
I
I'm
mean,
going to hype it up
there'll
if it's
definitely
not.
be a crowd, man. If it's anything like anywhere else has been, I'll definitely bring a crowd over. So it should be hype. But
Yeah.
I'm yeah, I'm just curious to see like how it's gonna be because like I don't really know. Like I said, I don't really know how the community is out there, so I don't really know. Like I'm assuming some people know who I am, but we'll see how it
Oh
is.
my
Like
God.
hopefully people show up. You
Are
know,
you
I mean
kidding me?
even if not, it's like a festival, so I'm gonna have fun no matter what. But
No, everybody knows you. Just know that you're known
no, man,
in
it's
the
gonna be
US
fun.
at least. And in Portugal, you're starting to be known very much so. I mean, you were already, last time we talked, you said that when you went to Portugal, that people already had like known who you were.
I know
So
that. Yeah, I
imagine
got
this
stopped a
time.
few times, and that was 2 years ago. I'm a little bit like anxious to see like what happens this time. Like, are people gonna like recognize me or not? I've had a few people like I've reached out to a few restaurants to be like, hey, like I'm gonna stop in, can I have a reservation, whatever, and like they knew already. They're like, yeah, like you got it, and like not like you got it, like oh it's for free or anything, but like you have it, you know, we'll reserve your table, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, but like I feel like people there definitely know who I am as well. I mean, at least in the city. So I'm curious to see how that's going to go because that was 2 years ago. Okay, so when I went to Portugal and 2 years ago and people were recognizing me, I only had 25,000 followers on Instagram. I celebrated 25 in Portugal. Right now I'm about to hit 90. So like this is a whole different world, you know, like I don't know what to expect over there. I think
Yeah,
when I go
because you
to,
have to picture it like if you were to look at 90,000 people in a room. That's
right,
insane. That's a concert. Like,
it's
that's
wild.
crazy.
I think when I go to the Benfica game, I think a lot of people there are going to recognize me because I think I get kind of that like street cred for always repping. I mean, I'm wearing the shirt right now. So I feel like people there are going to be like, that's that guy, you know, like they're going to remember me from always wearing the shirts. But yeah, we'll see how it is in the rest of the time there. But
I have a little question. So I know that you're a drummer. A lot of people don't know that you're a musician as well, that you're
yeah,
a very good drummer, not just
thanks.
like, whatever drummer. You were in a lot of successful bands and recorded music, and
Yeah,
you sent me some stuff which was awesome. So
thanks.
how does being in a band, being in front of a crowd, being like playing, uh, how is it different from doing like a book signing with 400 people? Like how is the adrenaline rush different from the day after the signing and you're just like, what the hell just happened
Yeah.
versus like your biggest gig of your life?
So like well, I'm a drummer, so I was always in the back. This is a
Yeah.
lot different because all the energy is being pushed my direction. But I think it's like when I was a drummer and I was like younger, we would very often travel somewhere and like the gig would be like a bust. Like, oh man, there's like 10 people here, whatever. So I'm always expecting that. And I haven't had that yet. And it's been really weird, I guess, to like get over that. Like even when I showed up to Portugalia and I looked inside, I saw a line of people and I asked the owner, like, oh, are those people shopping? Like, do we have to go around them, you know? And he's like, no, that's your line, man. Like they're waiting for you. We have to go inside, you know? And like I think it's just like it's so different in the sense that like I don't know, like I don't feel like I lived like the starving artist musician life, and I expected that to be this, and it's not. Like this is so different. Like people really took to me. I'm not like pandering or begging for follows or to come out to my thing. Like people are genuinely like coming because they want to, they like me or relate to me or whatever. And it's just very different than my past life for sure. I love playing music and we definitely had some success here and there, but like this is just another beast where people feel connected to me. I said this the other day on an interview that I did, but like people will come out to my podcast. People will come out to my book signings and like hug me so tight that I could
Oh,
feel like how important my channel or my videos are to them through like how hard they're hugging me. Like nobody's ever hugged me that hard before, you know? Or they'll say like the craziest beautiful things to me, like my mom was on her deathbed and she would only smile at your videos the last few weeks she was alive.
oh
Things
my
like that, like
God.
I never in my wildest dreams expected to have that. Uh, and that's like, I mean, obviously I love making money. I love making people laugh, but nothing compares to like the chills I get when that stuff
Yeah,
happens. It's like,
people don't realize
whoa.
how those messages really mean more than anything else. I mean, the messages when they're talking shit is fun to like banter
Yeah.
back and forth with them, but like the real meaningful messages, like, last, smiled with you was like,
Yeah.
how did I have that
There was like
impact?
this lady drove, I think she said 3 hours and she was 5.5 months pregnant. She drove to come like just have a conversation with me for 5 minutes, you know? Like there was one lady who had a knee replacement surgery. Like she couldn't even stand up and she was waiting in line in a chair, you know? And I'm just like, man, like whether I should or shouldn't or I deserve it or not, like I mean a lot in some of these people's lives, or at least the videos do or the entertainment does that like people feel a connection to me and it's just like so wild. Like even if I had, you know, a smidge of success as a drummer, like there was never an emotional connection to anybody. We were just pumping out like, you know, I'm just pumping out beats or whatever, you know. But like this is different. This is like one on one and I could tell that like people like, you know, really I don't know. Like it's important to a lot of people. Like it's important to me. Obviously, this is my business and my brand, but it's important like emotionally to a lot of people. And like I feel like a lot of people online, either if they're like, you know, a lot of people like hate or troll or just you know see the funny side of the page. But I hope people also see this other side of like these people that like you know this is like a lot to them. Like the book means a lot to them. I had one lady reach out to me that her dad died from he got hit by a drunk driver and like she never learned how to cook Portuguese food and like her life's been a mess ever since he died and you know whatever. So I just sent the lady a book like don't even buy it. I'm sending it to you like just whatever learn to cook these
Yeah.
recipes, you know. And it just made her so happy. She actually lives in California. She's probably gonna come to this event. But
Oh.
like I just like it's so cool that I could make people like you know happy for a moment or just do these gestures that like change them a little bit or change their day or whatever. It's just been wild.
So food
Yeah.
is just not just, it's good, it's delicious. It has such a deeper connection in what you're witnessing yourself. You
Yeah.
did it,
I mean,
for
somebody
fun.
somebody just messaged me today and they said their grandma died, I guess last week in Portugal and today was the funeral, but they couldn't go. They're stuck here. So she's like, I'm cooking like her favorite dish. How do I make these potatoes or whatever? So I like typed her out, like walked her through it. This is what I think you should how to make it, whatever. But like people, like you said, like the connection a lot of times is food. So like, you know, people just find that like homey feeling through my videos and stuff and like they connect to me and I think it's cool that I get to now do these like live events. I never ever planned on doing any live things
Yeah.
before. Even when I first wrote the book, I didn't expect to
Yeah.
go out and do this like but the more I do it the more you know I'm realizing I need to do it because like people like I
Love
don't know
it.
like they love watching my videos but like it's a different level of connection when I get to meet them like it's so wild. It's so wild too because like I'm such like a I have like OCD. I'm like a germ freak at home, but like I hugged and shook 400 hands that day, and like I didn't even care. It was just I left there like I'm definitely going home with COVID or something from this, but I didn't. I didn't get sick, so thanks for everybody that came out that you guys weren't sick. But it's just like wild. Like it's just I don't know. I was never really even like a people person. Like I'm pretty quiet and stuff in my normal life. So now all that's changed because like I show up to these events and
I would
you can talk
never
to me for
think you're a quiet
4 hours. I
person.
know, I
Ever,
know. A lot of
ever,
people like
ever. I would never be like, David, you so
when my
calm.
mother-in-law first found like my channel, she was like, "What is this? Like, who is this?" You know. But
Really?
I think now, I mean, my personality has developed a little bit more now because like this is so normal. This is a part of my life now, so I'm always,
Yeah.
you know, just kind of on uh as far as like being personable and stuff. But it is weird in the sense that like, okay, so like my flight to Portugal, I'm going from here to Montreal and then from Montreal to Portugal. chances are somebody on that flight to Montreal to Portugal is going to know who I am, right? So if my kid's having a tantrum or like throwing shit, I
We're
need to
all filming
behave,
you.
man. Like I
You're
need
gonna
to
be on
react
Reddit.
appropriately. Yeah, I know. So I'm always telling my wife, like I like when we're out in public at this point, like I need to really quote unquote be on my best behavior because if I do something that somebody perceives as wrong, like everybody's going to know about it. So when I go to the grocery store, if I go to the Portuguese store, I don't go in sweatpants anymore. I put on real clothes because like somebody might ask for a picture or whatever, you know. But yeah, it's definitely now just been a weird adjustment. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I think that it's really cool to meet people.
What advice would you give someone that is trying to like make it? Not necessarily do a cookbook or anything, but like someone that's trying to be an influencer, basically.
Well, if you're in the Portuguese community, I would say the first advice I would give you is your first thing should not be to reach out to the Portuguese kids for help. Everybody does that. They probably, I mean, they do it to me. People ask me for stuff all the time. Derek, at the beginning, when I was getting started, kind of gave me some eyes on, like, what kind of things people either suggest they should do or ask for them to do for them. Leave those guys alone, make your own path. And I think that that's why, like, I connected with them so well. Like, I never went and asked them for help. They ended up, like, finding my page and we just connected organically. And I think that's important. Like,
And
they
I
got
think
their
it's
own
important that
thing.
everybody knows that Derek and Brian are very nice,
Oh,
good,
yeah. Oh,
genuine
yeah.
people. Like
For sure.
it is not a fake thing. Like
No, no, yeah, yeah. They're super nice. I
it's
mean,
so
I
they're
I
good
credit them for like
guys.
everything they've done for me. I wouldn't be here or doing this if it wasn't for them. But I think that people just need to like I guess what I was trying to say is like stop trying to replicate what they did and do your own thing,
Mm,
right? Like
yeah.
we already have the Portuguese kids, we already have Mike Rita, we already have Taylor. I don't want to see a recycled version of that. I want to see new takes on like on what we do. So I think just be original. Don't care what people think, and uh, just I remember seeing this advice at the beginning and I thought it was so crazy and now I do it. But don't look at like how many views and likes you get. Just post it and move on. Like that's what I do now. Is like I'll post 4 videos today and I probably won't go back and see how many likes they have or whatever for another 3 or 4 weeks. Like I'll go back maybe if I'm bored or whatever. But focusing on that stuff just takes the fun away from it and like
Hmm.
takes like the just like organic sense of like humor away from it. You kind of tell you're trying to pull views instead of just whatever, throwing up whatever. If you just throw up whatever and just let whatever work, some stuff will fail, some stuff will work, But consistency is definitely key. And at the beginning, nobody will watch your videos or anything, but you just have to keep doing it. I remember when nobody
Yeah.
used to watch my stuff. Like, I mean, nobody. Like, I went back to the beginning of my page the other day. I scrolled all the way back, and like my early videos had like 20 views, maybe 25, and it'll grow organically. Like I said earlier, like if people could almost smell like when you're trying too hard, but yeah, I think if somebody's just getting started, it's just be original, you know, ask for advice, but don't ask for favors. I guess I should have said,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
definitely asked those guys for advice a lot in the beginning, but I never asked them for favors. And I think that's important. Like, what do you think about this is different than can you put me on your show? Like that's a different conversation. But like I said, I think there's a new generation of like people that are interested in getting back into the culture. So I think there's going to be a lot more talent popping up, a lot more like content, just other funny things that like I wonder what's funny to like the generation under us that's not funny to us or something. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna make fun of us and stuff. So I
Oh
want to
my
see like it's
God.
gonna be different,
It's gonna be different Portuguese problems.
Yeah, I know, I know. Started is just be original, you know. Ask for advice, but don't ask for favors. I guess I should have said,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
definitely asked those guys for advice a lot in the beginning, but I never asked them for favors, and I think that's important. Like, what do you think about this? Is different than can you put me on your show? Like that's a different conversation. But like I said, I think there's a new generation of like people that are interested in getting back into the culture. So I think there's going to be a lot more talent popping up, a lot more like content, just other funny things that like I wonder what's funny to like the generation under us that's not funny to us or something. Like
Yeah.
they're going to make fun of us and stuff. So I
Oh
want to
my
see like
God.
it's going to be different,
It's gonna be different Portuguese problems.
Yeah, I know, I know. So it's
Well,
cool. It's cool. I think we're in like a very like important crossroads time wise of like
yeah,
Portuguese like
I'm
entertainment.
feeling that so much.
Yeah,
I don't know what exact, can't like pinpoint what is happening, but it feels so different than the community that I grew up with in,
yeah.
which felt so much more Portuguese in a sense because it was all immigrants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
but it just feels so different right now. Like what the community is turning into is like Taylor's brother used the word elevated, and it is. It's where the community is being elevated, and that
Yeah.
is like to me a perfect word for what is happening in this wave.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. I think when I first started 4 years ago, it was definitely a little bit more like cutthroat as far as like people feeling like everybody was just competition and stuff. And it's not like that anymore. There's not really like, I mean, there is obviously competition between, I have a cooking page, other people have cooking pages, but not in the sense of like, if you look at who's kind of at the top of the game, like we're all friends, we got along, we have chemistry, and we're helping like we all help each other out and stuff. So it's just like, I don't know, it's just like a different, experience or a different vibe than maybe 10 years ago or 5 years ago. And I don't know if people know how to handle it because, I think, I don't know, like the Portuguese, like, entertainers or whatever are so in your face. Like I said, you can't scroll at this point without seeing either my face, the Portuguese kids at this point, Taylor, Mike, whoever. Like you're gonna see a pork chop on your feed, whether you like it or not, because the algorithm is just gonna push it to you. Like people find my page all the time because it's just pumping it to their feed or whatever. It's at this point, I feel like there's just a lot going on, and it's a lot of good stuff. Like not just a lot of
Yeah.
like garbage with a few good things here and there. Like everybody's pumping out like solid content and shows and live entertainment, and it's just so much going on. It's just wild, and
I'm
I'm happy to be
excited
part
to
of
see
it too because I
what
would have major FOMO if we weren't doing all
this
this.
time next year we gotta come back and like figure out where you're at now because
I don't know what it is for the rest of the year, but this time next year when we're talking, I better have a show going on of my own. That's more than just the book.
put it out there, put
There's
it in
been
the
some.
atmosphere.
I know I'm always putting it out there and hoping it comes to true, but and it has been. But there were some
It will.
conversations had at the Portuguese Kids premiere with some directors and some other people in that space that potentially want to do something. So
Yes.
I want to.
Yes.
What I want to do is do like a. I keep saying Anthony Bourdain because everybody's just going to recognize that name, but that type of show where the first half of the half hour is me traveling around Portugal, and then the second half is me traveling around the Portuguese communities here. So like I'm showing the audience there, here, and I'm showing the audience here, there, and it's basically what I'm going to do in Portugal in the next couple of weeks is me experiencing new things, trying new foods, cooking with old ladies, whatever it is. But that's what I want the next level to be after the second book. So I hope it comes to fruition. I think people would really enjoy something like that. Like there's a lot of travel shows out there. There's not a ton about Portugal, and when there is, they all visit the same places. They all go to the same restaurants in Lisbon. It's the same stuff. So I would like to
Hmm.
do something that's a little bit different. So hopefully
Yep.
this time next year we're filming that or something. I don't know.
But you're the
It's
only guy for it. Like
yeah,
you have to have the personality for it too. You can't just go be on camera and not be able to talk and be captivating. And that was what you were from day one. And that's why a silly little Be Funna video took its course the way it did, is because
yeah,
you were so likable. The half of it is being likable.
yeah. So hopefully,
Because
hopefully
yeah.
this comes to fruition and we have a different conversation next time around about not just a book, but a show or something.
Yeah, I think so. Is there anything else you want to promote what you're doing or anything like that?
No, for now, just those appearances. So I've been trying to remember them. April 27th is Newark, New Jersey. May 25th is Mississauga in Canada. And June 7th is Santa Clara, California at Portuguese Tasty Desserts. So those are the next three, and probably the last three until the baby's born.
And the Portugal too, the
And Dia
next day.
Portugal as well in San Jose. And then after that, it's
Baby
kind
time.
of. I'll still be pumping out videos while the baby is here, but I won't be traveling. And then October, the book will come out, and hopefully everybody that bought the first book will buy the second one and more because it's been really cool to see a lot of people buying the first book and then coming back and buying a second and third and fourth because they're buying it for other people. They're buying it as
Oh
gifts.
yeah.
So
I
I
have
hope
an
that.
aunt that was like, "You already have this book?" I'm like, "Yes." And she's like, "I bought all of you, all her nieces. I bought all of you this for Christmas." I'm like, "Well, give it to somebody else because I already have it."
That's cool. That's funny.
So
Yeah,
it was during
I hope
Christmas. I'm
everybody.
sure you got a lot of sales.
Well, that's why I'm trying to get this one out by October because I'm trying to catch that Christmas rush again because that was
Yes.
bananas, like the craziest couple of months, like work wise, of my life, like just labor, straight
Yeah,
labor.
your mom's gonna have to fly in for that one.
I know, I know. So actually, she is coming for Christmas this year, so maybe she'll help me out.
But
I'm excited.
enjoy your trip in Portugal. I'm
Thanks.
sure we'll keep in touch,
Yeah,
and I'll see you soon.
cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.